better for Gala and to the stream is now live. There we go.
You're good. We got it all. You should be good.
Okay, cool. So basically, TLDR, we were going to, pursue this, external support concept. And we did. And we worked with a bunch of different partners. We brought a bunch of different people to Gala Chain, set up group chats, connected them with people, connected them with, various people inside the organization. And it's one of those things that, because Gala Chain is a permissioned chain, you need somebody to basically give you permissions to do stuff. And this is less so now, very much to their credit. They have done a great job of, pushing and further decentralizing stuff. But, a year ago, it was entirely permissioned. And if they didn't want to help you, then you didn't get to do anything. And so, we had issues where we would, take somebody to them and then, they would be told things like, oh, well, you're not really important enough for us. It's not a priority to support you. You could ask the guys over at Metaflora. They were just talking about this yesterday. When I did I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I did a spaces with them yesterday. And then there were a number of organizations that sort of fell into this group where we, would try to get something moving, and it just ended up not going anywhere. And we're not developers for them. We're not building this stuff on Gala Chain. We're just connecting these other third parties together with Gala, and then they take it from there. We don't have any visibility either direction. So, whatever happens, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
But what we found, and this is, sort of a pivot here in the story, what we found is that most projects that push out DeEEP networks don't actually have any idea what to do with DeEEP networks, or how to stand them up, or how to build them, or what they are, or, any number of things. And so, there would be, people would buy nodes for a given project, and then they'd be like, okay, now what do I do? It's like, okay, well, build your network. What's that mean? How do we do that? Well, and I don't blame them for asking these questions. Building a DeEEP network is not an easy thing to do. You guys know this.
Oh, it's easy.
And
what you're talking about. It's the easiest way done.
Super easy, super simple, barely an inconvenience, right? And so, what we decided to do is, it's like, okay, well, and this isn't the thing that happened at LFG, because LFG did not have the resources to do this sort of thing. But what I did is I started looking for other people sort of in the space that could potentially do something like this. And this is where Datagram comes in. And Datagram is essentially the spun-off back end of a commercially successful Web 2 company. So it came with, buckets of demand, retail users, companies that are integrated with it, and all of that. And we basically spun off, working with Dr. William Nguyen, spun off the back end of that to decentralize the back end infrastructure for the entire thing. And there are several cool things that were done as part of that. The first is that we've built out a DeEEP network that essentially from day zero has customers. Okay, like actual, real, honest to God customers doing real things. And very critically, they're doing real things on nodes. Okay, this is a very, very, very important thing for us. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. I'm listening. You're speaking my language, so.
And so doing something on a node is very important. So if you go to demo.datagram.network right now and create an account, you get a little bit of data credits that you can play with and use. If you go ahead and use those, what you will be doing is actually interfacing with our node network for real-time communication or AI inference. I don't think we've pushed the AI inference live again yet. People were in our alpha test now, people were complaining it was taking up too much space, so we're making it an optional opt-in thing.
Okay.
But this all happens on actual nodes. We're running an alpha testnet right now. We've got Over 140,000 nodes deployed right now. Uptime and usage are all being written on chain. Very, very vibrant, active community. And it's all based around this idea that there should be a way to monetize latent resources. And if you have a node network, that node network should do shit. And that's basically it.
But look, like there's a few things I want to touch on here that almost every podcast I go out and talk about now. This is what I love about the DeEEP space is most of the DeEEP projects, or I should say a lot, there's quite a few that are out there that are they're starting the way Datagram is there's actual demand that is using something with real money that's being paid to do stuff. But with the actual DeEEP network, you can make it more distributed, more decentralized, more efficient, redundant, more secure. Like there's a litany of things you can do. And oh, by the way, you can involve the community that's using a lot of the stuff that's in there. So I love that, man. You're speaking my love language in this whole thing. This has been, as you know, you've talked to me for years, which is funny because you said your oldest kid was 4, and I'm like, damn, I still have a baby Brink NFT in my wallet somewhere. So
I know, right?
Baby was born. Yeah, I was like, what the damn? It's been that long. Jeez.
I don't remember who it was that sent that blanket. I think it was. I want to say it was like Garrison or I don't know who it was, but that blanket is still one of my daughter's favorite blankets.
Love it.
Viking baby.
Love it.
So.
Yeah, so like being able to take that and you're generating a flywheel effect because you're bringing that income in, which is what most crypto is missing, right? Most crypto's missing this. They have this great idea. Oh, we can do X, Y, Z, and they build something, and it might be the best protocol in the world, but they don't have a way or a know-how to get that other demand in the door to create that and continue that flywheel, or their tokenomics just stuck, and so they're actually never going to get a flywheel. So. Yeah, that's great, man. Like, love to hear that. Love to hear you've got real world, people utilizing this. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it is. It's really important. And the other thing that we did is as part of this, we built out the Datagram core substrate. And what the Datagram core substrate is it's basically a system, okay, that you can run alongside a node workload. Okay, so let's say you have your own node workload that does something. Okay, pick a thing. Maybe it's a game, right? You've got a game workload. But, DeEEP is hard. Again, we've been over this before. And most people who do DeEEP don't actually do DeEEP. They just have, nodes that write to MongoDB and that's it. Little heartbeat thing and some reason to distribute tokens. And that's kind of the end of it, right?
Right.
But you have this game that you actually legitimately want to decentralize. So what we do is the Datagram core substrate is essentially a process and toolkit that runs in parallel with whatever your node workload is. Okay, so on the same hardware that you're installing your node, the Datagram core substrate comes along with it. You actually build it into your node software. What the Datagram core substrate does is it does all of the uptime and usage tracking for you. Okay, so that it all gets written on chain. Okay, we're building on Avalanche as part of the Retro 9000 initiative. And so all of that gets written on chain. And you get access to a network operations center that shows you all of the nodes that are online in your network, what their uptime is, etc., and makes it so that you can API in and get the actual real on-chain verified uptime. Okay, for your node network, so that you can do your distribution wherever you want to do your distribution.
Yeah,
we are chain agnostic in that regard. So if you're running your node, your DeEEP network is powered by a token on BNB chain or Gala chain or whatever chain you want to have it powered by. That's fine. API in, get the information from our Oracle, and do your distribution, and you're golden.
Nice.
And it is not. It is not, as somebody just sent me a screenshot, a Blockbuster thing that tells you if there are Blockbuster movies. That is not a great analogy for that particular thing. So yeah.
Well, if you're the Blockbuster, I want to know who's Netflix. What's going on?
I'm just going to leave it all alone. I'm just going to leave all of that alone.
So tracking uptime and everything else. So you have these customers. What are these?
Yep.
What are these Web 2 customers? What were they utilizing that you're bringing them on?
So most of them are using the real-time communication portion of things, which is the first thing that we built out. Okay, and was kind of the main application offered by the company that we decentralized the back end of.
Gotcha.
The majority of them using this real-time communication, there's a lot of academic institutions, there's a lot of governmental institutions in Southeast Asia, and it's primarily used for secure, peer-to-peer video conferencing. They've also been used for some pretty substantial streams with some larger companies, of events and things like that. So that's the basic thing that most people are using. Now, as we go forward, and the cool thing about this, by the way, is that all of the real-time communication video stuff that we're doing is done via UDP. As far as I know, we're the only project that has RTC via UDP. Most are trying to use TCP, which is massively slower. And so our video conferencing software just absolutely beats the socks off of like Google Meets and Zoom, and my favorite thing has been I've had a couple calls with like VCs and TradFi people in the space, and they always want to use Microsoft Teams. I assume because they're very sad people, and they want to use Microsoft Teams, and Microsoft Teams, like every third time I use it, it shits the bed. Like it just never works. And
it's
so
powered by X.
It's right. It's the greatest thing to be able to do a call with a VC, have the VC software that they pay money for not work, and then be able to say, you know what, how about, since we're talking about this thing anyway, why don't I demo it for you guys? Click on this link, and then have the entire thing work beautifully.
Sounds like we should have been doing this on your video conferencing. That's what
we honestly should. We honestly should. I need to get them to do the RTMP stuff in there so we can do broadcasts and things, because that would be super cool.
Well, next one, 100%. We'll do another one. Obviously, let's do it on there. Let's highlight it. It'll be great. I want to show people what it does. It's fantastic. So
yeah, it's cool shit.
It is cool shit. So what's your next steps? You got a node sale coming up.
We do. Okay. We do have a node sale coming up. And again, just to sort of answer General Kaizen's point from his question statement thing, polemic, we'll go with, is that so there's a node sale coming up. It kicks off the preferred whitelist on the 10th, regular whitelist on the 11th, and 12th is the open sale. These are for nodes that actually do things. There's actual traffic on the network right now. And so you'll be able to get and run those nodes for you. They're extremely reasonably priced. They start off at $150 and max out at 700. We're only doing 25,000 nodes across the entire thing right now. That is for the first year. We use a extremely robust tokenomic structure that fixes. One of the nice things about working in the space is you kind of see everything over years and years and years, and you see all of the things that don't work. And so we've been able to build a very robust tokenomics model, correcting a lot of things that don't work from previous iterations and things like that. And so with over a decade of experience building these things out, I think we have an extremely robust structure that pretty much everyone's been very happy with.
Well, I haven't dove into your tokenomics. I'm excited to actually do that. I'm pretty astute on the tokenomics side. I've been around for a while, like you said. I'd love to look into it and kind of see what you guys got going on.
Sure.
I know you guys have got some pretty cool backers that's helping you move along too. AVAX, I think is one of them. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah. Avalanche's Blizzard Fund came in. Animoca, Iskra, JDI. JDI are the guys that do the hardware for a lot of like Filecoin and Oh my God.
Yep.
Brain is breaking. Again, almost midnight here. So, yeah, helium, that's what I'm looking for. They do a lot of those devices and things like that. So, they'll probably be doing some stuff with us. Do you mind if I answer some questions from the chat that I'm seeing?
Do it. Yeah, 100%.
Derek asks, will this compete with Huddle? It's an entirely different product. Huddle is like, their thing is just real-time communication. For us, the real-time communication stack was built specifically to prove that our infrastructure worked. Because if your infrastructure doesn't work and you're doing video conferencing, then you're going to know very quickly that it doesn't work. Because obviously your calls will be shit and everyone will know that it doesn't work. So yeah, it's not that it's a competitive things. It's just that the proof of concept for us of real-time communication is something that we have, and we're like, might as well productize it, go for it. But the way that we will be building this out in the long term is kind of as a full service cloud provider at the end of the day. So what we want is that anything pretty much that you can do on AWS, you will be able to do in a decentralized fashion with Datagram.
That's awesome. That's a pretty big leap too.
As I know. It's not a. Yeah, we're fairly ambitious.
And you're not doing it overnight. Let's be clear. Like, we talk about those things internally. You have a market where you're at now. You're focused on that market, but you see the bigger vision of, look, as you move down this road, other opportunities are going to open up. And you talk about AWS, Google Cloud, all these centralized cloud services. There's opportunities that are going to present themselves, and being able to move into those is in the roadmap. You don't want to just be focused on one little thing. So that's great.
And to be clear, and this is a really important thing, is because of what we're doing, generally structured around cloud services and providing tooling and things like that, it's very easy for us to have incremental steps that could be taken to show improvement and development along the way. It doesn't have to be sort of a monolithic, boom, here's this gigantic development thing that has happened that takes 4 years to do. There's lots of little things that we can do along the way that help people understand that movement is still taking place.
Well, and that's better when you're looking to involve the community to purchase a node and be a part of the network. It's better that way anyway, because otherwise
100%.
They're sitting around for how many years and not seeing anything. They get frustrated, that kind of stuff. This allows you to grow into that and utilize that network. So that's awesome.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen that happen before.
By the way, I want to shout out to Derek. Met him. He was there last night at our meetup too. So very nice talking to him. So thanks for joining the space, Derek.
And if you guys have any other questions, again, I don't know where these questions are coming from. I don't know who's listening. I don't know.
It's on the fly, man. Yeah, nobody knows. It's on the fly. We're talking. We're seeing things. Who knows where we're at? I probably should open up. Not much else is coming in outside. But so you have this one node that's coming out. You got the sale that's there, and that node itself. What is that node going to do specifically? It's going to run. It's going to actually run this side protocol, right, that you said there. Do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have ideas for other nodes or to do other things down the road, or this node itself to do that thing?
Well, so here's a funny thing. And Derek, you can go to datagram.network and just check it out. It's very easy to go read about. And then if you want to get into documentation, you can go to doc.datagram.network.
We'll post a bunch of stuff too, Derek, in our Discord about Datagram, who they are, where you can find their information. We'll point all you guys in that direction too. So
yeah. But in terms of what these nodes do, these nodes do all of the things in the ecosystem, right? There is not and let me say this. I'm going to say this. It's going to sound slightly shitty. I don't mean for it to sound shitty. There's a bunch of things that other projects have done that I feel could have been done better. My goal is to take learnings from all of those things that could have been done better, and implement those learnings into Datagram. Some of these learnings are around tokenomics, some are around emissions, some are around community management, some are around tech. Okay, there's a bunch of different things from a bunch of different projects that have been that are part of this. What I want to sort of do, though, is make it clear that if I say something, I'm not poking it in any other project. I just want to be clear that this is the way that a thing is done, and it's the way that I feel that things should be done. Does that make sense?
Oh, it's 100%, man. Like we and you as well as myself, we've been around for a long time. We've been involved with
Yeah.
different projects, and we've seen them do things that we like and we dislike. It's normal
Yeah.
business, right? Like that's how
Yes.
businesses evolve, and that's what you're doing. You're taking your experience and you're putting it into something what you believe in and how you think it should run. Totally.
Correct. So, with that said, the nodes have a singular purpose, and that is to actually support the network. These are resource nodes, okay, that provide resources to the network. I do not anticipate there being other nodes that are sold, okay, that do other things that we're saying that these nodes are supposed to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so with this, okay, what that essentially means is that while there are future elements to the ecosystem that may require different specifications, okay, so for example, a good example of this is we have a base requirement, okay, that is quite low for node operation, okay, because for the first year, uptime, okay, just simple uptime is a component to the reward structure, and it will continue to be always, but that component will in time scale, okay, from I think it's at 80% right now for uptime to something else that's lower than that, and then actual usage takes that spot and takes that distribution, if that makes sense.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we have a project, for example, that is has a very GPU intensive render that has to happen or something like that, we are obviously not going to allocate that project to a node that is running on a $5 Vultr VPS because it won't work, right? So it's not that additional nodes will be or additional node types will likely be sold. They could be, but the plan from my perspective is to make it so that if you would like to have an addition, like for example, one of the things we're talking about is actual chain validators. Okay, getting chain validators out there. And the way that we intend on doing this is rather than selling them or anything like that, actual chain validators, which are different from resource nodes, chain validators you would actually stake for, and there would not be a license component to it. It would just be a token staking component. So there are other nodes that may potentially do other shit, but not the same shit that these nodes do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And to be clear again, these nodes actually do things. This is not a pretend node network. This is an actual node network that does stuff, and it is very important that people understand that.
Yeah. So let me kind of follow up here. So the node ecosystem where you start, you're able to track stuff and kind of everything that's kind of going on. So if you have something that's GPU resourced, you'll know what nodes are running on an ecosystem or a device that has GPU capabilities. Correct.
We have,
you can launch it to that node network.
Correct. What we have is we refer to as the intelligent coordination layer. And I really have to give tons and tons of praise to my co-founder and the guy, the technological genius behind all of this. Because this guy has been working in decentralized and distributed compute for literally 30 years. He did his, early work in this field at Lawrence Livermore Labs, went on to do distributed and parallel compute for computational biology at Harvard Med, and then later continued on that as a Sloan Fellow at Harvard for his postdoctoral work. The dude is a certified, freaky super genius. Very, very cool guy. And, this is a little bit of the secret sauce that we're working with, because he's been doing this for years and years and years before most most projects began, even conceptualizing this. So the intelligent coordination layer is something that was created and envisioned by him, that essentially looks at the requirements that are being pushed into the network, looks at the resources that are being pushed into the network, and then matches those resources with the requirements with the nearest best resource that provides that work.
Okay, yeah,
If that makes sense.
No, totally. I think it's great. When we've obviously been talking about running Datagram on our devices throughout, because we have real hardware that could be used for a lot of different things. So makes perfect sense. I love what you guys are doing. I think there's I would love to get, what was his name again?
Dr. William.
Dr.
William Wynn.
Yeah, him and Ben on a call. Ben, and he's been in that IoT for a couple decades, so they would nerd out hard.
Yeah. You guys may need to take a trip to Southeast Asia. I'm just saying.
Oh, we are going to because we're going to go visit the factory, essentially, that we have all these devices that are being developed in. We've got some other partnership stuff with them we really want to work on. And Southeast Asia is our next big move into where we want to push these devices to. So,
well, then
you should
come hang out because you should. I would love to. There's even some potential multifaceted partnerships that we could potentially help put together because
100%.
we're very deeply connected in the space and whatnot. So, there's a lot we can do. And to answer your question, Derek, are there variations in hardware nodes? So there aren't like hardware nodes that we deploy ourselves. Like we don't sell a device. Through one of our partners, there will likely be a device in the future, but that's only because there's a certain segment of the market that really just wants a device. So they can have like a set it and forget it sort of thing where they just plug it in at home and connect it and, ignore it.
You mean like a deep device?
Like a deep device. Exactly. Exactly. Precisely. So there probably will be devices in the future, but our software is really designed to be run on pretty much anything to take advantage of whatever latent resources you have.
That's awesome, man. Well, I know it's getting late there. We're running on. Who knows?
Dude, I'm having fun. I'll talk to you guys forever. It's not a problem. Don't even
look you up.
Don't even stress that.
Yeah, no. And it's interesting when you get into the DeEEP ecosystem, right? You have the software DeEEP and then the hardware DeEEP, and they run in parallel and they run together, and then sometimes they don't even like run together. It's completely like interesting, but they're all in this DeEEP space. So, let me ask you a couple of random questions here. What are you most excited about in Datagram? Like within the next
what am I most excited about? Within the next how long? What's my window here?
Next 3 months.
Next 3 months. Well, there's two things that are happening within the next 3 months that are really exciting. I didn't give him that window, by the way, guys. He just came up with 3 months by himself. But the two biggest things that are happening are obviously the node sale, which is kicking off starting on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then going beyond that, September, probably late September, early to mid-October will be mainnet launch and TGE, which is going to be, a zoo as it always is. I'm very excited about that, and I'm very excited about we have a system to reward people who have participated in the alpha testnet, like a airdrop thing that I'm very excited about because I've never seen anyone do anything like it in the space, and I think it's going to go. If I can get people to understand it, I think it's going to be great. There is always a sub-segment of the population that just doesn't understand things and just wants things to be the way they expect them, and they may not be happy, but I think the majority of people will be happy with what we've done there in terms of the capsules. So
Cool. I'm excited to see that too. When you say it's never been done in this space, I always get excited. I'm like, oh, what kind of craziness is going to happen?
Yeah, no, because it's kind of funny because it's like you have an airdrop, right? And when we've seen this all over the place, and you really have two problems when you have an airdrop. The first is that especially if especially with like Kaido and Yappers and
Oh
you
yeah.
know these sorts of things. There's these massive hordes of people that descend upon projects and just kind of soak up airdrops, right?
Yep.
And because this is what they do, and it's like in many cases literally their job, they just go and they sell the tokens that they get, right? And that's not always helpful, right? Because you have this massive liquidity event that starts hitting your chart just as you're sort of starting to try to get things off the ground, right? So that
Yes.
sucks. Now, the alternative that some projects are going to, okay, is that rather than just letting people have tokens, they're creating these long vesting contracts that people have that will become like they basically for a year you're locked up and you can't go anywhere. And what this means though is that you end up with a bunch of people who just kind of want to like go on and do the next thing, but they can't because they're stuck, so they're salty and irritated. And then you may have solved the dumping problem, but it doesn't fix some of the broader issues, right? So the way that we're solving this is we have this concept of an NFT capsule. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And what this capsule essentially is tokens vest into the capsule. And you can open the capsule at any point in time. However, if you open it, it's open and you take what's in it, but whatever would come into it in the future no longer goes there. It's an NFT, so you can send it around to anyone you want. You have a minimum amount or a maximum amount that will. Well, actually, I guess it is a minimum amount. If you let it go for a year, there's a minimum amount that will be in there at the end of a year. And it's in the metadata, so it's very easy to see. But you can open it at any time and take whatever's been vested in there. When you open it, 50% of whatever is unvested, if you will, is burned, and then the other 50% is redistributed to all of the rest of the capsules.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so what it means is that somebody who receives that, okay, well, they may not be able to open it right away to receive, the full value. The ultimate value of it is a known thing, right? And so there's a way for it to be, basically passed along to somebody else, so they can sell that to somebody else if they want to. And so it allows them flexibility as well as protects sort of the project as a whole.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
interesting.
something
Yeah.
I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'll be interested to follow that and see how that works out.
And Derek, yes, you can go to the site right now, sign up, and be allocated. Well, you can sign up. Well, we can get you a whitelist spot for the. In fact, I know that this can be done. We can get you a whitelist spot for the node sale, but you can run a node in the alpha testnet right now if you want to. Just go to demo.datagram.network and scroll down, and you'll see a place to download and run a node.
All right, I got two questions for you. Coming up on my time. You need to go to bed, but then I also have my teams coming in here in 7 minutes. So,
okay.
First question: You're going to be using Avalanche. Are you guys creating your own L1?
Well, we do have an L1 on Avalanche. You mean our own our own
Your own
L1?
subnet. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think so in the future. I
Okay.
personally am not a big believer in the concept of the primacy of a chain any longer. The way that I look at it, anyone who is halfway competent can create their own EVM chain in a day. Forking the right things, changing a few variables here and there, and deploying a network of validators. I don't see having a chain as being an asset any longer, as much as a negative, because your chain that you're working with is only as valuable as either A, the liquidity that you can bring into it, okay, and there has to be people willing to do that. Or B, the sort of cross-chain liquidity that is accessible easily. Which is one of the reasons I do like Avalanche, because it's very easy to bridge back and forth between basically all of the EVM chains, quite simply.
Yeah, and bridging honestly
and
is
safely
a thing
these
of the
days.
past. Yeah, and bridging really is a thing of the
Yeah.
past these days when you have stuff like dbridge, if you're really just trying to get liquidity out. So
Correct.
yeah,
And so that's why
I agree with you
building
100%, unless you need something more technical within the token, right?
Yes.
You need a code
Yes.
into it. So.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
And yeah, I don't. If you need something more technical within the token and you can't accomplish it with EVM smart contracts, maybe think about what you're doing. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, Derek, that is the site, demo.datagram.network.
Let's see. Well, you answered that question, which it was going to go into another question, which answered that one already. Otherwise, you've already said it a few times where people could follow you and see you. Demo.datagram.network is where you can go run the node. Brink, you have your own X and Twitter and everything like that.
Yep.
So why don't you give them a little more information where people can find you?
Sure.
We're going to have a bunch of information we're going to drop in our Discord too for all you guys that are listening, and kind of point you in the right directions.
Sure. So you can find me on X at BitbenderBrink, BitBenderBrink. And that's the easiest place to find me. Datagram is also on X at DGram Network. So give both of those a follow. And yeah, that's what we got going on. And always feel free to drop a comment or ping me, however you want. Be aware there are quite a few imposters on Telegram. I just ran into that today. It was actually kind of hilarious. I was talking to this poor girl, and she came up, and she has a software development company in Vietnam or something like that. And she's like, "Jason, why don't you ever respond to me? We were having a great conversation, but then you just stopped responding." And I'm like, "I've got no idea who you are. I'm sorry. What, my father died of early onset Alzheimer's. So anytime somebody says they remember some shit that I don't, I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Is it happening?
Gosh. Yeah.
And so, I'm like, well, send me a message. And so she sends me a message. I'm like, I'm not getting it here. What's going on? And so she showed me the thing, and it was a total scammer that was talking to her, trying to get her to, to do whatever.
Everywhere. Yeah. Scammers everywhere.
Terrible. So, I'm now connected with her directly, and I used her phone to send a not very nice video to the person pretending to be me. But yeah, it's good times.
Awesome. Well, I know it's late for you, and I really appreciate your time and giving a lot of information here. So thanks a lot, Jason. We'll
My
do
pleasure.
this again. We'll be talking more, so I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope
My
you
pleasure.
enjoy your evening.
I'm going to go finish this reply to General Kaizen, so he has the information he wants.
Awesome. Thanks again, man. You take care.
You too, man. Peace out.